Thanks very much. And there is a story about our industry. And I've been in this industry now for 30 years. And the story is that we are a troubled industry, that we are about to be disrupted, that our clients have become so polygamous they make rabbits look like hermits, that all these fine technology companies like Google and Facebook are going to eat us for lunch, that nobody worth any talent will ever join any of us. And if you read DigiDay, less ad age, but things like DigiDay, every morning, you may want to just get up and shoot yourself. And I just have one single prognosis for this. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. So let me give you why with some facts first, then some philosophy, and then why, in order for it to remain bullshit, we are going to have to change. So, last I looked, we have not been disrupted. Last I looked, if you basically invested in the holding companies, the 4 large holding companies, you would be better off than if you invested in Apple, Google, Facebook, and Amazon over the last 4 years. Okay? And the holding companies are only a small part of the marketing business. Wall Street has figured out that our growth has only just begun, because as the world gets more complex and as money moves from paid to earned and earned, it actually increases revenues that basically come to the agency business significantly. Second is automation is not bad. The companies that we believe will disrupt us basically replace carbon with silicon. They are not going to come with their silicon and their 12 times multiples on earnings into our business with a 1.5 times revenue increase with carbon. They won't. So the reality of it is our business will be fine. And the reason it will be fine is because of one single thing. 30 years ago, when I first came to this country with a degree in apparently what I'm not supposed to be scared of, advanced mathematics, I learned marketing, or tried to. And the book that I got at the University of Chicago, they had to import from Northwestern, was Philip Kotler's Principles of Marketing. And in that, he defines marketing as understanding and meeting customer requirements. And then for the next 30 years, or 20 of the next 30 years, working for some of the finest companies in America, I realized that's not what we were doing at all. And the reason was because the customer was not really empowered. We were making money through logistics, technology, consolidation. But something happened. The connection engine, also known as the internet. And what it did is it empowered us at home. So whenever I go to a client and they put up a screen about how they're going to empower their consumers, and unless that company is either Apple or Samsung or Google, my stuff is that's, again, total bullshit. We are trying to actually live in a world of empowered people. And what we need is empowered marketing for an empowered age. And empowered marketing is going to be extremely important because people are empowered, and understanding and meeting their requirements is extremely important. And so our business is trending perfectly fine. Think about the fact that core to our business is storytelling. We've told stories using 5 elements: the word, pictures, video, audio, and place. Now we have new colors to paint with. Mobility, which basically is going to prove that our fixation on who someone is pretty stupid. Where someone is might be more important than who they are. For God's sakes, Google proved when is more important than who. And we keep fixating on who. So we've got mobility, participation. I'm not talking social media, I'm talking participation. And all kinds of things are participation. You've heard some great examples of participation. APIs, the only tech term I will use. Application Protocol Interface. The ability to plug in to anything from Google's trend data, to Facebook feeds, to Yahoo Daily Habits, to whatever. There are new ways of telling stories. We're in the storytelling business. Someone has given us more colors to paint with, and we're going to be scared. We have the ability to allocate better, because not only do we have more data, but there's more things to allocate with. The entire idea of clients vertically integrating into our business is complete nonsense also. There'll be parts of the business that they'll take in, but there are so many more things to be done. So many more things to be done. There's more stuff to allocate across. And the fact that there are lots of companies working with clients at the same time, why is that a bad thing? That should be a good thing. And some people believe in what they call frenemies. My basic belief is friends, no enemies. Because we are not living in a share game, we are living in a growth game. And the moment you start thinking about abundance, growth, and the future of marketing, and stop thinking about this as we're slicing salami, things change and how we look at where the world is going. So we are very bullish, because whether it's data-driven marketing, whether it's where commerce and marketing intersect, whether it's new ways of telling stories, or amazing global growth in places like China and India, the future is very bright for our industry. And the markets have understood it, and a lot of people have understood it. And let me talk to you about some other industries which you think might be so sexy. Think about finance. Here is a prediction. The finance industry in the United States will be half its size in 5 years. By the way, my predictions on newspapers and magazines were right? Finance, half the size. Think about if you're in the university in today's digital world. Think if you are a newspaper or a magazine. We keep fixating on those people in Mountain View or Cupertino or Bangalore. There's much more to the world than just technology companies. And technology companies are our friends. They've even got some incredible talented people there, like my daughter. Okay? But what tends to basically happen is it's an enabler. But what we need to do is think about how we can change to actually grasp the future of this industry, which is very bright. It's our industry, it's very bright. And that is where we talk about the future does not fit in the containers or the mindsets of the past. We are living today in a networked and open world. Even Apple is coming to understand this. Open and networked. In an open and networked world, as we even heard most recently from the client in Mondelez, we are going to learn to collaborate. If you cannot collaborate, you cannot win in an open and networked world. And in order to be collaborative, in addition to having soft elbows, you've got to actually have some hard competencies, which is we have to be good at a few things, but be really world-class at it. Too many agencies are pissing in such large circles that they're basically selling clients mounds and mounds of diluted mediocrity. In an open and networked age, we will find people connecting best of breed, because we do so as people at home. Why would anybody be different? So the idea really is, what are our centers of excellence in our companies? How do we collaborate between the centers of excellence in the companies? How do we actually incentivize collaboration and not just competition? How do we partner? And how do we partner with the companies that are supposed to disrupt us? And let me tell you, they are not going to disrupt us because this is not a share game. And how do we work together to move forward with regard to the industry? Towards that, I think there are two exercises that we can do with regard to structures. The first one is to take a fresh sheet of paper and a bottle of alcohol. Okay? Drink the alcohol first. And then ask yourself, if you were to design a company, which includes partners, to satisfy your clients' needs, what would it be? And how would you do it? Then go home. Take a taxi. The next morning, ask why you are not doing that. Because time after time, when I see startups, here's what they tell me. We wish we had the brand equity, the distribution, the support, the global scale of the types of clients and companies you work at. And I said, you used to work there. But what got in the way was the organizational structure. And we heard earlier today from the CEO of Campbell about some of the things that they're doing. The problem is the organizational structure. And the organizational structure does not get fixed by putting out farts of press releases. Right? Whenever I see many press releases coming from a company, I say that must be a problem there. Okay? Because the real problems are not attacked that way. The real problems have to be attacked, which is organizational structure and culture and people. And I think if you start with an open sheet and you have people figuring it out, that's one interesting way. The other one is to forget Andy Grove and Intel. Not Intel, but Andy Grove. He's alive, but don't forget him that way. But forget what his famous statement was. His famous statement was, only the paranoid will survive. In a collaborative age, if you are paranoid, you are dead, and you don't even know it yet. You cannot be paranoid, because I believe only the schizophrenic will thrive. We need to run two business models at the same time. It may have to be more than two, but at least two. One optimized on today, one optimized for tomorrow. Do not try to optimize today and tomorrow simultaneously. You will get nothing. You will kill tomorrow for today, or you will not have enough money to survive for tomorrow. And two models, and you'll see almost every successful company that makes it runs two models. They, in fact, disrupt their current model. And you see this happening with Apple. You see that happening with Google. One of the interesting things about structures is all of us have taken our clients and have taken ourselves on the holy pilgrimage to Silicon Valley. I do the same thing, but I don't ask the same questions. You know what? You guys figure out the technology, I'll use it. What I want to know is, how do you attract, manage, and retain talent, and how do you work fast? That's more important. Why are we taking clients to ask the wrong questions? The questions are how these companies work, not what they do or what their technology does. Their technology is supposed to be magic. You don't have to understand that. I mean, some of us do, but not everybody. Right? But we don't ask the right questions, which is, what's the cultural question? What's the speed question? What's the organization question? What's the incentive and talent question? That's what we should be asking them, because they do it really well, and we can learn incredible things from them. Moving on to mindset. I truly believe that we as an industry need to get our mojo back. And part of the reason we may not get our mojo back is because there's nothing wrong with the industry. There may be something wrong with us. We as the leaders of the industry may not be believing in this industry enough. And nobody can follow someone who isn't passionate about actually taking over the next hill. And part of it is because of something that we all should realize. And this is what this is. Change sucks. Change absolutely sucks, right? I worked for the same boss who I'm about to lose for 13 years. I worked in the same company for 30 years. I met my wife when I was 12. I hate change. Somewhere along, they put me in charge of change. Not that I'm in charge, the whole company is in charge, but one of the people is supposed to do this. It sucks. We blew up the last version of VivaKi. We're doing a new version, and we've been sleeping on planes so much that my boss and I exchanged passports. We moved so quickly that in Paris, they thought I was a terrorist going to Pakistan to bomb up Lahore. Seriously, right? Because I was sleeping on planes for 4 days, so I was moving. Who wants to do this shit? But you have to. And so my whole stuff is do, right? Don't press release. Do. Don't direct. And most importantly, recognize that the word that you've heard today, which has come up again and again, which I think is more interesting than sustainability and much more interesting than purpose, is authentic. Authenticity rules. And authenticity rules because the future of this industry is not necessarily us. There's some young people in this room. It's the next generation and the generation after that. And what do they believe in? Here's what they believe in. Do you eat your own dog food? For instance, as many of you know, there is a site called Glassdoor, and it's only one of many sites where people can figure out everything from salaries to who says what and what says what. Across my own organization, I know there are groups of people who share all kinds of information, like what their boss told them. So they basically, if you think you can tell one person red, the other person blue, 5 minutes later, they'll actually compare notes. If you think you can manage by fear, watch it. That age is coming to a close very fast. What's basically beginning to happen is the old ways we managed was giving people direction, which is still very important, and basically giving them permission. We are now moving to an age where they are looking, yes, they're looking for clarity of direction, but they're looking for inspiration and for ignition. The other thing that they're basically looking is, are you big enough to realize that they can teach you? And if this is going to be about talent, we have incredible talent in every aspect of this industry. It just may not be us. Or we are not it all. And that's one of the things that's extremely important to understand. I will end basically with a thought. We saw that the agencies were rated below a lot of people, but above lumberjacks, I think. So here's what I believe agencies really are. We are cockroaches. Okay? People can crush us, make fun of us, call us ugly, but we scurry around. We're not dinosaurs. Dinosaurs die. Cockroaches have always lived. Right? We run around into the crevices. We do things. We acquire companies. When I was working in the first era of digital, all the companies that were supposed to disrupt us, with the exception of 2, all of them are part of the Publicis group. We are cockroaches, but we cannot just be cockroaches. What we need to do is go radical on ourselves. We need to be radical, we need to be audacious, and we need to disrupt ourselves. The future is not about cockroaches. Let's surprise the world. Let's be flying cockroaches. Thank you.